and that's what we have the opportunity to do, and that's one of the things we talk about all the time. Hey, go earn it. Don't expect anybody to give you anything, and if we want game day to come here, then hey, we need to go earn it, and maybe that'll happen. But right now, we're just glad to be on TV.
When you talk about making progress on the passing game, like you said, what role does statistics have to do with that? Because you're not very high statistically.
I have no idea. I mean, I just look at the games that we play and what we do, what we ask them to do in the ball game, and done a good job, so far. I mean, and again, we've hadn't had the ball a lot, and haven't really been very challenged from a passing game standpoint in these first two games, and that's great. We've kind of forced the issue at times to where, because we just wanted to just throw the ball, and again we've had some big plays, very big plays in the passing game. So, but that game where we go and we got to throw it 30, 35 times, it's coming. And, that'll be a little bit better gauge of where we are right now and what we got to continue to do to get better. But again, I just base it on, I don't really look at the statistics. I just say, here's what we did, and did we execute, and I think we've done a good job in the passing game.
Coach, you played a lot of players this past week. Did anybody surprise you, step up, do you feel more comfortable about maybe having them in a backup role?
Well, it was critical for several guys. A guy like Courtney Brown, for example, who we really need to come on. I think he played good the first game. He was one of those backups that we need to count on, and he played much better. Played a ton of snaps, got a bunch of work. Rod McDowell's another guy that showed what he's capable of, a guy that at some point we're going to really need throughout the season. Brandon Thomas and Phillip Price continue to kind of come on. So I think that, a guy like Meeks is another guy that we're counting on to hopefully keep growing up. And Tyler Shatley played a lot of football. So those are some young guys, and it was good to see all those guys get some opportunity to play and get great film, to evaluate themselves off of. And how about Daniel Barnes, man? I mean, Archie Griffin running out there. It was great to see a young guy like that get an opportunity and then thrive with that opportunity. He did a super job and got the player of the game for us offensively, and he's been a real contributor to our team behind the scenes, and so it was good for him to be able to have a day in the light.
Y'all played Darius Robinson.
Yes.
Talk about the decision to go ahead and plug him as a pro.
Well, we just feel like we're going to need him. And, based on who we're going to be playing and what they do, in trying to develop the depth that we need, we've been going back and forth, but we just felt like between Darius and Martin Jenkins that those were two guys that we needed to get them as much experience this year as we possibly can and have them ready. We've got two senior corner starters, and our depth there is young. We have Brewer and Cody coming back, but everything else after that's pretty young. So we just made the decision. Let's go ahead and we've gotten him ready to play. We're going to try to hold like we need to go ahead and play him. I think we're going to need him at some point in the season.
When was the last time you guys really played in an environment like you'd expect Saturday night? It seemed like there wasn't that environment you guys played in last year, essentially.
Well, that's always a tough environment, and as far as just a lot of people, but again, we play in a lot of places where they're against you, but 90-something thousand against you creates a little different element, so it'll be very loud. And communication is critical. We're going to have to whisper at practice. Down, say it, go. We're going to have to try to really do a good job, because you're not going to have highly audible tones out on the field. I mean, you're going to have to really be dialed in, antennas up, and have real focused intensity every single play, because you just don't want to go down there and beat yourself. If they're good enough to beat us, then hey, we'll take our hats off to them and shake their hands and move on to the next one. But you just don't want to go beat yourself, and that's what a lot of times happens to teams. They'll go on the road in tough environments, and they won't finish the drill. It's jumping off sides. It's all that kind of stuff. Fumbles, snaps, and things like that, just from a communication standpoint. So we'll have to be very dialed in on that. But 95,000 or so is a little different for us, for sure. But going to South Carolina is a tough environment. Going to Tallahassee is a tough environment, and these guys have been in big games before.
Yeah, well, all that deception stuff that Gus tries on offense, does that remind you of anybody else, or are you saying it's fairly unique?
I'd say he's got a unique system, a unique style. I mean, when you just cut right down to it, a lot of the stuff they do, we do. A lot of the stuff they do, several teams do. It's just that, he's got a unique way of getting to a lot of those things. I mean, they'll split their tackle out in the slot, line him up like a wideout, put the tight end on the backside in a tackle position with his hand down, and then they'll snap the ball and the tackle starts jumping up and down wanting the ball. I mean, it's they do some head scratchers, and so he's just got a unique set of formations, and then also alignments. As far as where the back is coming from, is he pistol? Is he heels on his toes? Is he behind the guard? Is he behind the tackle? Is he 5 yards deep in the slot? I mean, they're all over the place from an alignment standpoint, and that's really the unique thing. But a lot of the actual plays are things you see. It's just different ways of getting to them. That makes him unique, and the tempo that they play at.
Is your defense better equipped for that tempo, since you guys have some no huddle elements and hurry up elements?
Well, we're going to find that out. I mean, it's a hard thing to simulate in practice. I mean, they're really, and especially one of the key things to them, Tim, when they have a big play, it's boom. I mean, it's right at the line and hand on your throat, and here they come again. You can't even hardly get lined up. So that's going to be a little different for us. So we've got to be ready. Hopefully, our depth in the defensive line will be a factor for us in this ball game. I think that's one thing that hurts a lot of teams is a lot of times in the D-line you don't really have, the kind of depth that you want to have, and guys can get worn down. So hopefully our depth will be able to withstand their tempo.
How much nuttier are those fans at night as opposed to maybe a day game?
Well, they've had a long day at Toomer's Corner down there in Auburn, and drinking the Kool-Aid, so they'll be fired up. Been in a few night games down there, and the last time I was there was in '99. It was actually the first time Alabama ever won there. Was in '99, and that clinched the SEC West for us, and then we went on to beat Florida in the SEC championship game. So that was a great night. And, just like all places, if you go on the road and you're taking care of business, it'll get quiet. It'll get quiet in a hurry. Death Valley is the only place that don't ever get quiet, because they're either yelling at you or for you, one of the two, all the time. So that's what makes this place unique.
Anybody got anything else?
All right. Should be fun.